Hello guys, my name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel or you visit me from time to time, please subscribe and join our friendly community and help us fight for the democracy, because today as never before it is in danger, and not just in Ukraine but worldwide. You do see how many wars and conflicts arise. Why? Because unpunished evil grows. Same as unpunished Russian lies and Russian propaganda. They are everywhere. And today I want to sum up some of their new inventions, and I would like to start with a very toxic message that was aired by Russian UN representative Nebenzia, who was talking about the war crime they committed recently in Hroza village, Kupiansk region, when killed 52 people during the funeral. Perhaps realizing that no normal person will accept that, even very dependent and poor countries that Russia manipulates, and they decided to describe it as a funeral of an extremely important and influential Ukrainian military who was also a neo-Nazi like all of us, especially those who support Israel right now. So anyway, of course, this argument is totally fake, because 52 people that were killed on the funeral were civilians. Among them there were children, pensioners, medical workers, and no military people at all. And of course they are not neo-Nazis, because you know the only Nazis that are in Ukraine, these are Russian soldiers. And this is true. If you agree with me, please subscribe and help us fight the informational war. But Russia is very toxic in spreading its propaganda messages. It knows how to adapt them, it knows how to interfere in your society, picking your problems and returning you solutions that Russia actually wants. But today I want to focus on Putin's speech in Vladai, which I did not discuss because for me it's very difficult to watch his addresses, but I decided to do so after I've noticed some very important things in Ukrainian articles and also in the videos of some pro-Ukrainian YouTubers. Well, first of all, I did see that Putin changed the way he described this war in this speech, and this means something. First of all, he received a question, where is he planning to stop, because many of Ukrainian cities and regions they see as Russian according to Ruski Mir doctrine, but at the same time there was a question from one of the propagandists, what is the boundary where he will be ready to stop? And he gave an answer which is very important, and I ask you to feel it. This is not a war for territories. This is a war for ideology, perhaps that's what he meant. He stressed it's not about territories. So please, those of you who fall under the idea that we can negotiate something, that Ukrainians can trade their territories and their people, which is totally impossible, but hypothetically can trade the territories for peace. Who needs such peace? No, it's not about that. And this clash between democracy and authoritarian regimes, between pro-communist sentiments and Western civilization values, becomes more and more vivid with each day. So please remember, it is not just about Ukraine. It is not just about Donetsk, Luhansk, Crimea, or some other cities. It is about the dominance, world dominance, and that's what Putin wanted to say in this speech. And once again, he stressed that they want to change the world order, very Hitler style. If you agree, please like, share, and help us influence those who still doubt, who still believe that by giving a bloody terrorist what he wants, sacrificing Ukraine, they can solve their tax, economic or other problems. No, you can only inspire more of his invasions. But one Ukrainian article actually found something unusual in that speech, and that was Putin's attention to the need to support and inhabit Far East, Siberia, and other very uninhabited regions. Another example of how toxic and aggressive Russia is, this is the largest country in the world. They have enough land. So once again, if you think it's about territories, think twice. They have more land than they need. They have more land than they are able to, I don't know, all of Russian land is very depressive. So anyway, they have more than they need multiplied by 100. So why is he talking about that? Perhaps because of China. I know many see Russia as stop or something that may help fight China in future, or that will prevent China from expansion, but this is a mistake. Honestly, I believe that when we start negotiating with any regimes that go against democratic values, that start killing people, national minorities, indigenous peoples, that suppress freedom, we are in danger, and we only invest in future wars. Frozen conflicts do not exist. They don't disappear. These are just conflicts that are growing. Let's substitute actually the word frozen conflicts into growing conflict. They are simply just like, I don't know, a disease or something. They are just not visible at the moment, but they are growing either deeper or wider or bloodier. So we cannot negotiate with those who do not share our values or don't stand on a similar vision of the world. And what Putin, what Xi Jinping sees, what Kim Jong-un sees, is a totally different world. I'm sure none of us want to live. But some of the Ukrainian experts think it might be a signal that not everything is fine between China and Russia is afraid that China will penetrate deeper into its territories, into its businesses, doing that without military aggression, just as Russia wanted to do with Ukraine, just as Russia did with Belarus. So like slowly buying people, buying territories, renaming cities. That's what China does. Actually, in many of Chinese books, many Russian cities have Chinese names, and they don't explain that. And Russia does not speak anything about that, because at the moment it's purely dependent on China, and it cannot penetrate Chinese market. So this expansion is one-sided. China does what it wants to Russia, and Russia cannot do anything to China. So I don't think that this totally dependent puppet can be an instrument of prevention future confrontation with China. Some claim that possible negotiations between the US and China, that in the future, when Russia is defeated, when Russia collapses, China gets half of Russia and does not attack in return Taiwan, and the rest is for new nations and countries that appear. This does not seem realistic to me, but let me know what you think in comments. Anyway, we have to be very careful, because Russia is constantly lying. Russia is constantly provoking conflicts all over the planet. That's what they need. That's what other authoritarian regimes need. And also various Russian lies people don't believe, but many, especially not very good politicians, use as excuses not to continue the fight for democracy, not to continue support of Ukraine and others who fight for freedom, who fight for respect, who fight for their lives. So we have to be strong and united. Thank you so much for being such people. Thank you for being friends of the channel. Subscribe and share. Actually, if at least one friend of yours subscribe to a channel, we could double the size. And leave comments. They help YouTube algorithms, and they help Ukraine spread more information. Subscribe to my Instagram. I'm pretty active there. Join my Threads Discord and Twitter. I know Elon is toxic and we have to outlive him. And introduce yourself to our beautiful merch. And most importantly, let's stay strong. We cannot be tired, because at war, if you're tired, you're dead, Operator Starsky said, and I trust him. Thank you once again for being friends of Ukraine. Thank you for standing with us, and Slava Ukraini!